Hello, potassium people. Welcome back to another Banana Bites, where we're eating this banana, talking to you, and asking Valve to please add the strange second banana to Team Fortress 2. So, today, I want to talk a little bit about something that has probably been ingrained in your minds since a very early age. Something that has been around, and yet probably isn't noticed that much for what it is. And that would be the hypnotism of the repetitive nature concerning the nature of certain words. That was a lot of word salad, so basically just there are certain connotations you have for words and for sayings and different things like that that have been built up over time, and you can actually manipulate that. And it's very interesting to see. The first example that you will probably recognize once it's pointed out is your name. Okay? When someone says your name, that triggers something in your head, and you instantly recognize that you need to pay attention because someone is calling for you. This has been built up over years and years and years until it sticks. And then that name is an identifier. And just by hearing it, it can gather your attention. All right? But there are other words, other phrases, other things that will instantly kick up recognition that just by hearing it, you're going to have a reaction. All right? I could say certain groups in the past that happen to be involved in World War II, and you would instantly recognize something as bad or good, depending on your connotation. And I'm not going to get into that. I know YouTube will personally send out a squad of people to kill me if I mention it, even if it's just for an example like this. However, you can actually build up and establish your sort of reaction. Okay? I knew someone a bit in the past where they very much disliked the name of someone they knew because it was someone that had abused them. That's understandable. That person's name that they knew is also my name. So when someone would say my name, they would freak out. It wasn't about them, but because of the connotation that they have with that name, because they had repeated in their head over and over and over that that name is bad, when they heard it, it was instantly something is bad. Something's wrong. Okay? The same thing has happened to bananas with me. Not a negative connotation, but a good one. I'd rather set it up in my head where when I hear banana, I think, oh, it's about me now. Or, oh, something good is about to happen. When I go to the store and someone just mentions bananas, my brain lights up with endorphins and dopamine and serotonin, whatever else you want to call it, in delight that there's someone out there who's getting bananas. That sounds crazy, but I've lived with it for so long and have repeated that bananas are good, that I should care about bananas, and that I really need the strange second banana in TF2, that these things are just triggers for positivity. There was once in my life, I was living through a pretty difficult moment. Basically, I was out on my feet day after day, trying to work to get stuff done. And I know I'm not being specific with these examples. I'm trying not to dox myself, all right? It'd be pretty apparent who I am to some people out there. And even though I'm not well known by anyone, you never know. I've seen it happen on the internet, believe it or not. People will find you, okay? So anyways, I was out there and life was miserable. I thought everything sucked. I wasn't getting anything done that I really wanted to in life. It was the school of hard knocks, or whatever they call it. And I remember thinking, I just need to have a mindset change. So I told myself, day after day, walking is good, because that was the main thing. I was just walking all the time. Walking, walking, walking. And it felt like no, I wasn't going anywhere, even though I was physically moving. So I kept saying, walking is good, walking is good, walking is good. And eventually, I really like to go walking. I love walking now. I think walking is great. It's awesome. I wish I didn't have to have a car, so I could just go walking everywhere, even to my job, even if it took 30 minutes. I would love to just go and walk there. And I built it up over time because, admittedly, I needed to in order to mentally stave off sadness. So if you repeat an idea to yourself enough, if you set yourself up in a way that just upon hearing something or being in a specific situation, you have an immediate response, not only can that benefit you, it can also be very detrimental, and you can see it in the way a lot of things are presented. But you are basically defining who you are by these definitions you set up for yourself, these connotations, these ideas. All right? So with all that being said, Christmas has been set up. And I know that sounds crazy. And I know what you're thinking. Azure, you hate Santa for some reason. We don't know why. There's a very good reason. And I'm going to get him this year. Just you wait. But in all due respect, Christmas can be a very good thing. But because of how the media and everything's set up, it's usually not. It's usually a time of stress, a time of spending a little too much more, or a bit more than you have. And all of this just leads to difficulties. So, take care of yourselves out there. I'm going to eat this banana. You probably thought I forgot. I can never forget. I wake up every morning with the ingrained idea that if I don't eat this banana, I'm basically dead. I would suffer, torment myself if I didn't eat this scrumptious looking banana. How could I live if I didn't consume this? That's a good banana. I just remembered an alarm's gonna go off, so gotta move the phone here. Alright. Good stuff. That was a good banana. I freaking knew it. I freaking knew it was going to go off. All right. Potassium people, I'll talk to you all tomorrow. For real. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Bye-bye. My mouse is actually dead, so I can't stop the video yet. It disconnected. Got to give it a second. Okay, bye.